Say hello, Father Corey.
Hello, Father Corey.
Very good. I was hoping you would do that.
Old joke, I know.
I know, but it's a good one. An oldie but goodie. Hello, everybody in the chat room. And we do apologize for getting a little bit of a late start. Not too bad. Probably about average for us. And
that was bad as last week.
Yeah, it was really late last week. So, yeah, here we are, Father Corey and Sarah. Sarah has had to leave the room. She just received a call, I believe, from the President of the United States. Not sure.
Something like that, or the Inspector General of the UN, or something important like that.
Yeah, yeah. Or somebody from the State Department asking her a question about email accounts. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. Maria's not going to be with us today. She is under the weather, and so we keep her in our prayers. And let's see. Steve, I'm not sure if he's going to be with us or not. He didn't. I don't recall him saying he wasn't going to be, but he did say he was doing a lot of traveling, so perhaps he will not be with us. So there you have it.
Once Sarah wraps up her important business, we'll
I'm going to mute myself as I chew some of this very hastily made breakfast sandwich, corned beef, and a potato hot dog bun.
Yum! That sounds good, actually.
It is good. Nothing else, just the pure meat and bun.
Meat and bread. What more do you need?
Yeah. A day without meat is like the next day you go, I gotta have some meat.
Yeah. The funny part is, you and Sarah gets on before we go live, and she's eating apples or something, and it's like, I'm the only one who's just got up, half an hour ago. I'm 2 hours behind you, and I haven't had anything to eat yet. No fair.
Go ahead, go get something to eat.
Nah.
Let me see if I can find something for you. Here's some cashews.
There we go.
Here.
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
All right, hold out your hand.
Oh, darn it. No, missed it, sorry. Cat's got it on the internet.
The crumbs have fallen somewhere down here on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. The cats are eating them now.
Okay, let me go to the chat room and see what's going on over there. Anybody there? Oh, look. It's Lynn. Someone give Captain Jeff a P.I.?
Pie. It's Pie Day.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Now I see a little bit further up. Happy Pie Day. Yep. 3.141's, what is it?
3.1415. I can never remember past there. 9.2, I think, something like that. Yeah, I think it's like 926 is like 3.1415926 and so on, as I recall. And I'm sure somebody in the chat room will, oh no, Father Corey, it's yeah. I'm lucky I remember 3.14 some days.
Yeah, that's about as far as I get. Let me see if I can remember exactly, just off the top of my head. 3.14159265359. That's as far as I can go, because that's all the image on Google is showing me.
I figured as much.
Sorry, my mom called.
I like your ringtone for her.
Do you know the value of pi, Sarah?
I know that today is 1415, which is kind of a big deal.
No, the value
Isn't
of
there
pi,
a 9 after the 5 or something?
Yep. It's the value of pi is that it's really good and delicious.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it's 3.14159265359 and on.
In high school, we had to learn it up to 10 numbers, but I don't remember that now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is 12 significant digits. Right here. Okay. Well, good to see you, Miss Sarah.
Sorry for disappearing. But
hey, that's right. I just got back myself, so.
It's okay. Yeah, my mom called. She never calls on Saturday morning, so I was like, what's going on?
I got a little snippet of your ringtone for her is you got up. I like that.
It's She's a Lady by
Yep.
Yeah, Tom Jones. It's my mom.
It should be.
No, that's when you call me.
No, when I call you, it's.
Oh, there you go.
No, it's Africa by Toto. You're in my default ringing. Sorry.
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah, that. Huh?
Bum, 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 bum. I bless the rains down in Africa, for some reason. Still really
Because
haven't
it's awesome.
quite understood the lyrics on that, but. Alrighty. And Lynn suggests that we revoke my geek credentials. Okay. Take him away.
So, Sarah, isn't Selfie Kit like the ultimate in, self-centeredness?
I mean, I guess even though I've had it for like 4 days and haven't used it yet, so I don't know what that says about me.
That says a good thing. No,
I got it for the tripod in it because I want to start making some videos eventually for my blog, like homebrew, like little 30-second kind of things. And then, so the tripod's what really got me, but the selfie stick will be nice. I'm just found out I'm going to San Francisco in a week and a half, so that'll be fun. So I'll be able to use it a little bit on the cable car and film a video, and it's going to be so ridiculous.
You need to hire somebody just to be your cameraman.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I found a seminarian who wants to hang out, so I figure he'll be it.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
The funny part, you show how insulated I am out here, which is a good thing, by the way. I never saw an actual selfie stick in person until, was it Canada trip or was it Israel? I can't remember. One of my 2 trips. I never seen a selfie stick until like the last couple of months.
I didn't see one
until
them
everywhere. Then all of a sudden they were everywhere. It's like,
I've never seen one until I bought it.
Okay, well that's a good thing.
What is that called? Cognitive.
I don't know.
The term refers to when you are like in the market for a Volkswagen.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you see Volkswagen.
All of a sudden, everywhere you look, that's all you see is Volkswagen Jettas. Otherwise, you don't see it.
Yeah.
So
I suppose it would be, instead of cognitive dissonance, it would cause cognitive
awareness or something.
Awareness, yeah.
Somebody
like
help
that.
me out in the chat room. Somebody there knows. I know it.
Smart people.
Let's see. Cliff, Captain Jeff. Well, that's me. Father Corey, Lynn, Mike Kuipers. Then we have 6 anonymouses, and I don't blame you for being anonymous. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to know I was on the Catholic Weekend chat room or in the chat room.
And Sarah, Mike says that you need to wear a flower in your hair when you go to San Francisco.
Oh, I'll be with a customer, though. It's a customer meeting, so I doubt it.
You know the song, though, don't you?
I mean, of course.
No, I don't. What is that in reference to?
If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair.
Could you sing that?
I don't know it well enough to do that. It's the old. Who was it that did that?
An old Steve song, man.
This is like your Captain Jeff, isn't it? Oh, did I say that?
Ha ha ha.
No, this was the old. I wish I could remember now. It's going to bother me.
Mike will tell us. He's just not. He's just now hearing us, probably.
Exactly.
It's the Bee Gees, man.
The Bee Gees?
Predates the Bee Gees.
No. It was in Forrest Gump. Scott Kenzie.
All right, I'll have to find it.
Yeah, Scott McKenzie.
Is it really called Wear a Flower in Your...
No, it's if you're going to San Francisco.
Your...
Oh, I know this song. It was in Forrest Gump.
Is it just me, or you sound like you're Skyping out?
Yeah, she's chopping up.
Okay.
I don't have anything else open, so I don't know what is going on.
Okay. Oh, I now have an advertisement here. Advertisement. Okay. Only 4 more seconds.
Yay.
Geico.
If you're going to
There we go.
San Francisco.
Wow. I think I know why I don't remember this.
Oh, it's very hippie-licious.
Oh my gosh. That's awful.
That was like a hippie anthem, though.
Okay. And you know that because?
How do you not know that? It used to be played on the old station all the time growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah. I don't know what's happening with your connection.
Your neighbors swiping bandwidth.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Well, I'm almost finished with my hot dog bun corned beef sandwich,
that works.
which means we're almost ready to go. I don't think Steve's going to show up.
Doesn't look like it.
It's just going to be the three of us. That's okay. We can do it.
Yep.
What was I going to do? I was going to do something. I know I was.
I'm trying to.
Oh, I will talk about it in the show. I need to turn my mug hot plate on. Keep my coffee warm.
Ooh.
Let me test the this sound.
This is SQPN, the Star
Sounds good.
Production Network, leading the way.
And if you want to hear that voice in person, you know where to go. To what's the name of the town that he lives in?
Kansas City?
No, but it's something Park.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was Kansas City area, but
It is. It's just south of Kansas City, and I can't remember.
it's not like Overland Park.
Over something.
Is it Overland? Because I think isn't there like an Overland Park, Kansas, or something like that?
Overland Park. That's it. I think that sounds about right.
Yep.
Okay, and so we got that. Recorder's in. The SD card is in, and it has plenty of room on it.
That's a good thing.
And we've already done this.
I'm your
That sounds
captain.
good.
I'm your
And yeah, that's good. So now we'll just wait for Sarah to come back, and we'll start the show.
Yay.
Yay. And then we can find out about how your week was and Sarah's week and all that stuff. Oh, maybe somebody's answered my question now in the chat room. Oh, he didn't know. What? Mike didn't know it was whoever that guy was that we just played. Who did you say it was?
Whatever. I didn't even say. I think Scott McFarlane or something like that.
Yeah. Overland Park, Kansas. Yep. You're
Overland.
right.
Yeah. It's
Overland Park. Both of you were correct. All right. Have you heard about that?
And Sarah goes bye-bye. Sorry, what was that?
Have you heard about Meerkat? It's a. Should I do that too? Should I do the Hangout toolbox? It is a Twitter video kind of Hangout tool, except for it's not really a Hangout tool because it's only one video, but a way to broadcast and have a chat room and all that kind of stuff. I just heard about it on Cliff.
Oh, cool.
Actually, my co-pilot, as we were driving to the airport yesterday, started asking me about Meerkat, and I go, "I've never heard of that."
Interesting.
Yeah. Then I heard Cliff talking about it on his latest podcast, and yeah, so I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. But
Maybe something worth looking at, if nothing else.
yeah. And my co-pilot thought it had something to do with Facebook, but it turns out it's a Twitter thing.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Choose a logo. I'll just use the Catholic Weekend logo, and I'll say,
Where's my...
Jeff. And on. There we go. Sweet. Now that keeps us above all the little squares. It's weird why it does that.
Well, I suppose so we can see it all, but yeah. Okay, where'd it go? Oh, darn it, I can't find my...
Your avatar?
Yep, I don't remember where it went.
Do a search for Avatar.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's what I think I named it like Minecraft Avatar or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Where did I put that? Oh, that's not it. Isn't this fascinating, everybody?
The joys of watching us.
Yes. It gives us such great joy.
Well, that's definitely not it.
Oh, maybe that's it. It's a USBD. That's a Ustream document. I'll try this.
Well, that was highly irritating.
Oh, I see. I thought you were just. I just thought you were really concentrating and looking something on your computer.
Nope.
I didn't realize that you had frozen.
It dropped off on it. Google crashed, or Chrome crashed on me.
Oh, I'm wondering if my internet has crapped out, so don't wait for me. Okay. So Sarah's having issues with the interwebs.
Oh.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and start, and then she can join us whenever she gets her internet back.
Sounds good.
Plus, because we have a board meeting to do after that.
Yep.
Okay. Man, mine's kind of acting up too. Maybe it's Google Hangouts?
I don't know. You sound fine to me, so.
All right. Hit the record button here, and let's go for it.
This is SQPN, the StarQuest Production Network, leading the way.
You're listening to Catholic Weekend, episode 264 on Saturday, the 14th of March, 2015. Enjoy. Hello, I am Jeff Nielsen, also known as your captain, and I'm in Roswell, Georgia. And joining me today, all the way out in the western United States, in Malta, Montana, is Father Corey Stika.
Well, good morning, everyone.
When you say everyone, exactly what do you mean? I think it's just you and me here.
Well, and all those listening and watching.
That's
and
right.
whatever time it is. It's morning somewhere.
Morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, something. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us and listening, downloading the podcast, listening to us, and soon, Miss Sarah Vabulous, the Catholic Drinky, will be joining us. She just right before we hit the record button dropped off due to internet troubles. So hopefully we'll have her back. And so hey, how was your week, Father Corey?
Oh, busy. Of course, for priests, Lent is always the busy season. We've got lots of things going on, lots of activities. Stations of the Cross. We had two penance services, and one of them here had our Lenten penance service. We do one every year, and then went down to the town of Lewistown, which is the next town south of here on U.S. Highway 191, 140 miles away. So, so a little bit of a drive there.
Actually, I've never heard of Montana, but I have heard of Lewistown.
Lewistown, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's also Lewiston, Idaho, so that sometimes
that's what I'm
we'll
thinking.
confuse that one.
Yeah.
But Lewistown is almost dead center in our diocese. And so I went down for that, and it's fun. It's always fun because you get to visit with other priests and usually have a good meal. You know, it's kind of the normal protocol, if you will, that when priests come for a penance service, that you first treat them to a good meal. And we did. We went to a little bar and grill that's kind of a little more upscale. There's actually quite a few more upscale restaurants being developed in this area. It's because it's a fairly scenic area, so it's become kind of a little more retirement type area. Anyways, they had really good swordfish. Had a kind of a Cajun seasoned swordfish that was just absolutely excellent. So we go and eat a good meal, and then we go and hear confessions and sit there for an hour and a half or so hearing confessions, and which is a very good thing. You know, getting to celebrate that sacrament of God's forgiveness on such a great
just
scale.
you priests?
Or
when you said I may have missed what you said. This is a penance service or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So there were actually 4 priests, myself, 2 other visiting priests, and then the pastor were celebrating. They did the penance service and then celebrating the sacrament of confession. So
okay.
You know, so it's really nice to be able to do that.
Well, you know, that's really a good lead-in to something that I was thinking of might be fun to talk about on the show. And our producer Lynn set up a Google Doc with suggestions for things that we might want to talk about on the show, and one of which is a video done by our friend of SQPN, Father Chip. And I think isn't it Father Chip? Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah. And let me see if I can find the tab that I had open. Here we go. Let me see if you can all hear this. But right now it says a parish near you has a video, and it has a priest walking through the door. And the door's closing behind him. You probably hear that.
Yep.
And he's walking in, hanging up his jacket. And then he's walking in, putting his stole on, kissing his stole and putting it on, sitting down in the reconciliation room. Oh, wait, we hear some music coming up. It's a very clever video. It's showing Father Chip in the confessional booth, and guess what? Nobody is there.
Mm-hmm.
All by himself. He's looking at his watch. Now he's looking through a book, most likely the Bible, and he's kind of shaking his head. Now he's walking around and checking the dust on various places in the parish. Anyway, so it's very, very cute. You should check it out. We'll have the link in the show notes.
I was commenting before the show. I know that feeling well. I've had more confession times like that too, where I'll sit there for an hour and nobody will show up. And it's frankly it's sad, but it's a cute video. Father Chip did a good job on it, and you know, it's a wonderful sacrament. We really do need to take advantage of it because it is such a beautiful thing. It really does such a great grace for our soul to be able to receive that sacrament.
Now, the other extreme is the church that the parish that we're members of, St. Peter Chanel. They have a couple times on Saturdays, 9 o'clock in the morning and also 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wonderful.
And I usually try to make the 2 o'clock in the afternoon one, obviously, because I have to do this show in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get in there like a half an hour before it starts, I mean, you're going to be there a long time. I mean, just the whole chapel fills. With people trying to get in. The most frustrating part about it is trying to figure out where you are in the sequence. There's no order at all, and it's very. In fact, a lot of times you get to see people exhibiting things that they probably will have to
confess.
I don't know.
I have to admit I've done that before too, where and just now I got impatient with my fellow penitents, and
While you're listening to their confessions, you're going, okay, let me write this down. I'm going to have to confess this.
yeah, hopefully not so much that, but
Oh, okay.
no, more like just getting impatient in line.
Oh, yeah.
Why is this person taking 10 minutes? Don't they realize there's 20 people behind them? You know.
Yeah, and that is irritating. The people in this world, and there are a lot of them, who don't understand that there are other people around them and things going on around them, and they're kind of their own center of gravity, you know, and the center of the universe.
Well, I have to admit that's kind of one of my annoyances as a confessor, is someone who comes in and they proceed to tell you their life story. And I know I've pointed out that list, was it 10 things not to do in the confessional or 15 things not to do in the confessional, and that was one of them, where you tell your life story and make up all these. Well, I got angry at my neighbor, but don't you know she keeps letting her dog come over on my yard and relieve himself, and don't you know that, and it's all the excuses, and it takes 10 minutes for them to get their confession out because they're giving all their excuses and their life stories, and it's just like, just confess.
I was going to say, yeah, I was going to ask you if that's, do you think that that's the reason why people kind of build this whole narrative before they actually get to the point of being there? It's like, so now you understand why I'm pretty much not really responsible for what I'm about to confess to you.
You know, I think there's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of that where they can sit there and say, well, you know, it's not my fault because, you know. And I'm not saying everyone who does that. There's some people that they just naturally, they talk. They're natural talkers.
Yep.
And they, and they just go on and on and on and on. It's just like, I don't need to know exact details of why you're upset with this person. There have been, there are certain sins that are very, shall we say, personal, and best if there's not a lot of information given on those sins. And I've actually had to stop penitents and say, you know, I don't need nor want that much detail. just give me the number and kind, you know.
Yeah.
I understand what goes into doing this sin. I really do. I don't need to hear it.
Right. You know, do you ever suggest that maybe people, have a spiritual advisor or something like that? I mean, sounds to me like that kind of thing would best be dealt with on someone that you can be one-on-one with and on a continuous basis and over time, and spend half an hour to an hour with, once a week.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately around here it's hard because we are so far from anywhere else. Basically the spiritual confessor is me. Yeah. but I do try to tell them, this is something we can talk about at a different time, in a different place. This is not the time for it.
Yeah.
And part of that is because the confessional tends to be a bit quieter around here. People feel like they can do that. And that's fine. If you're not holding anyone up, that's one thing.
Right.
But again, if you've got a line of 20 people that are waiting to get into an hour slot or hour and a half slot, it's probably best to keep it short, keep it simple. Go back to the old. We always will say that number and kind. How many times did you do it, and what did you do?
And I guess that's going back to what we just said. The people that, I guess that's how we all started on this, is the whole world revolves around me, and let's move on. And it reminds me of a story that, I don't know if you've heard me tell this before, Father Corey, but in my previous parish, there was a priest there, one of the priests that would hear confessions, and he wasn't the pastor and he wasn't the parochial vicar, but he was like an older gentleman getting close to retirement. I don't know what his position exactly was called, but anyway, he was one of the priests on staff, and he had spent many years in a parish down on the south side of Atlanta, and a lot of the parishioners at that parish were in the airline business, so he knew a lot of pilots and a lot of people that worked in the industry. And every time I'd go in to have him hear my confession, he would just start talking to me about this and that, and then sometimes he'd have this big belly laugh and everything else, and I'm thinking, I wonder what the people outside are, number one, thinking, why is this guy in here for so long, And number two, why is the priest laughing?
Right.
So I always came out of there, and you could tell people were looking at me like, what did you do? What were you talking about?
I always kind of love the joke where a guy goes to confession, and this is the first time in 20 years. It's been a long time. There's a line, and he gets in line, so he's kind of, okay, good. I can, a little more time to kind of get myself psyched up for this. And he's in line, and the first person goes in, and he's in there for a couple of minutes, and all of a sudden the priest goes, "Oh my God!" and then the person comes out. Next person goes in. The priest starts up, "Oh my God!" 2 or 3 more people, and of course by this time the guy's getting really nervous. The guy's like, "Oh boy, this priest!" He starts yelling at people. He's just actually blown away by all these sins that he's hearing. Well, the guy gets in there, and he's just shaken by this point. He's like, Father, it's been 20. He's just completely out of it.
Yeah.
And he gives his confession, and the priest, gives him advice and everything, and thanks him for coming, and then says, "Now let us say the act of contrition together. Oh my God, I am heartily sorry for having."
That's funny. That kind of reminds me of a joke that I just told on my latest episode of Airline Pilot Guy. A plane was taking off from New York Airport. After it reached cruising altitude, the captain made an announcement over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome to flight number 123, nonstop from New York to Los Angeles. The weather ahead is good, and therefore we should have a smooth and uneventful flight. Now, sit back and relax." "Oh my God!" Silence followed, and after a few minutes, the captain came back on the intercom and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry if I scared you earlier, but while I was talking, the flight attendant brought me a cup of coffee and spilled the hot coffee in my lap. You should see the front of my pants." A passenger in economy said, "That's nothing. He should see the back of mine." And there's another one involving a priest and a joke and beer, and I might as well play it on the show here. It's funny. This is like a webcast, about a half an hour long, and this is just about a 4-minute segment of it toward the end. And let me see if you'll be able to hear this.
Well, I'm
going to stop for a second and set it up. I've mentioned to the listeners of my Airline Pilot Guy show, and also you, the listeners of Catholic Weekend, that I was thinking about giving up beer for Lent, and I've tried that many times in previous Lents, and I've had various levels of success. And this year I decided not to do it because I knew I'd probably fail. And so some of my listeners knew that I was thinking about giving up beer for Lent. So let's hear this Irish Catholic priest at Steve Perry's local parish. Oh, that's the, you know what? We'll do that when we get back. Sounds like the music is coming up for the first break. This automated system sometimes catches me off guard. Hey, you're listening to one of the productions of the StarQuest Production Network, SQPN, and you can find out more about all of our productions at sqpn.com. We've made, I think, our successful shift and transition to our new servers. If you have been experiencing trouble accessing programming, watching live streams, trying to register for the CNMC, it's because likely we've had to turn off certain functions of the website while we go through this transition. So we do apologize for that. Hopefully it wasn't too painful for you, and looks like everything is, for the most part, in the green. So hopefully everything will be nice and stable in the future going forward. And so this show, as well as all of the shows on SQPN.com, are brought to you by you, the listener, and the friends of SQPN. If you want to give a couple bucks a month or whatever to help us out in our role in the new evangelization, please do. We'd really appreciate it. And you can do that by heading over to SQPN.com. On the right column, on most pages, you'll see a banner there, or a block, or a whatever, a link to sign up as a friend of SQPN. And a lot of different ways to do that. And I know that several of you listening right now are friends of SQPN. We do appreciate that. And another way that you can help us out is when you're doing your shopping with Amazon.com. head over again to our site and click on the Amazon link. That way, when you do your shopping, some of the part of the cost of the purchase, whatever you pay, some of that, a percentage of it, will go to sqpn.com. And all of it really does add up. And finally, if you're in the market for a hosting provider, we highly recommend Bluehost, bluehost.com, but don't go directly to their site. Make sure that you click on the banner, right over here on the right side, and sign up with them, and they'll give you fantastic web hosting service, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited storage, etc., for a very affordable price. And if you sign up through that link, it really benefits the StarQuest Production Network. So again, thank you for everything you do, your financial support, your prayer support, and just hanging out with us every Saturday morning. It's very much appreciated. Puxatawny Phil, Alan Marchand. And you can find out more about Alan Marchand by just doing a Google search. And I think I got that from Magnatune, which is a service that you can, pay a certain amount of money, and then you can use the productions, the content, the music in your podcasts. And anyway, so let's get back to the joke regarding beer and Lent. Let me look at the hangout here. Is Sarah back with us yet?
No, still just us. She's hiding.
Okay. She probably went back to bed.
There
okay.
You go.
Here we go. Here's the joke about whatever.
Well, I've heard about an Irishman who moved to New York, and he would visit the bar each Friday after work and order 3 beers. The bartender asked him why 3, and he said, well, he had 2 brothers in Ireland. And the bartender says, oh, well, that's very, very good, keeping up family ties, eh? He said, yes. So we went on and on and on, several Fridays in a row with 3 beers, and then all of a sudden, he ordered only 2. The bartender thought, oh, maybe something bad has happened to one of his brothers in Ireland. So he said, I'm sorry. And the fellow said, about what? And he said, about your loss. Loss? Yes, did one of your brothers in Ireland die? I noticed you're only drinking 2 beers. And he said, oh, no. They're both alive. But I've given up beer for Lent.
I love that one.
You probably heard it before, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've told it before. I love that one. That's a good one.
That's funny. I'd never heard that, and so I thank my APG listener, Steve Perry, for sending that to me.
Oh, very good.
Good laugh over that when I recorded the show in Miami with a co-pilot, Rick. If you've listened to my show, you know that Rick is a 777 first officer, and he lives down in Miami.
Okay.
So
okay, yeah.
we did the show together in Miami on Wednesday, I think. And
cool.
Just put it out yesterday. So anyway,
that.
This show's not about me. Look, we talk about people that are, the world is revolving around them in the center of.
And oh, by the way, I'm going to promote my show. For the record, I'm one of his listeners.
Yeah,
I enjoy listening. I've always been fascinated with aviation, so it's fun to listen to, even though I know I'll never fly myself. But it's fun to listen.
What's nice is that Father Corey is not the only priest that listens to the show and supports the show. There's another Father Jeremiah in, I think it's down in Melbourne, Florida. For the longest time, he was at that seminary in, is it Boca Raton? Kind of just south of Palm Beach, I think.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know there was I knew there were seminaries in Florida. I just didn't know where they were.
I think it was one of the ones that a lot of the priests in Florida go to. And he was teaching there, I think. And
cool.
Now he's in a parish in Melbourne, Florida. But anyway, it's really cool. And he'll
very cool.
send me feedback occasionally and say, hey, if you're ever in Melbourne, well, we know some great places for beer and food and everything else. So another beer drinking priest, a craft beer appreciating priest.
There's a lot of us out there. More and more every day, it seems like.
Like your personal monastery.
Yeah.
All right. Are you into graphic novels or comic books?
I used to be, not so much anymore. It's been a long time since I've really gotten into it, but I do enjoy them. I just don't have the money for them. They're expensive.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I used to, read comic books. I mean, we didn't call them graphic novels when I was a kid. We called them comic books, and I was reading about this comic book about John the 23rd by a Marvel artist. Is re-released, and it's a narrated life of Saint John the 23rd, and it's been reissued 50 years after its initial release.
Oh, wonderful!
Excuse me. And I tried to find it. I guess it's not really for sale. They did a Kickstarter, and
okay.
I guess you had to be part of the Kickstarter campaign
to
receive the book, the bound graphic novel. Anyway. I heard, this is way long before I became Catholic, so I don't know anything really about John the 23rd, except that he was purported to have a really good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Apparently, at one point, when asked by a reporter how many people worked in the Vatican, he famously replied, "About half."
Yeah. It's about right.
Anyway.
Yeah, he had a prayer that he would pray every night. This is paraphrasing off the top of my head, but basically, "Good night, Lord, I'm going to bed. The church is yours."
That's funny.
Yeah, and it's good prayer. I mean,
now John the 23rd, was he the one that basically called for Vatican II?
He was. And it was actually a big shock because they thought, this idea of being, of people watching isn't a new thing. They had the Vatican watchers, and people during the conclave after Pius XII died, they people were doing the same. This cardinal is going to get picked because he's going to continue what Pius XII did. This cardinal is going to get picked because he's going to change things. And John the 23rd, the cardinal that was elected, John the 23rd, was thought to be kind of because he was older, he was kind of, he was thought to be just like people said about Pope Benedict, is he was just going to kind of continue what had been going before. He really wasn't going to make any waves. He wasn't going to change anything. He was just going to kind of, be a fill-in after Pius XII, who did a lot during his papacy. Well, then Pope John the 23rd gets elected, and within a year announces the Second Vatican Council. So he kind of shocked a lot of people that this Pope, who was thought to be just kind of he wasn't going to change anything. He was a conformist, and he just was going to kind of go with the tides. No, he threw a big curveball at everyone.
Huh. Well, entertain the folks here for a second. I need to pull something out of my flight gear bag, which is about 10 feet away, so I'll be right back.
Uh-oh, you're going to leave me alone. This is kind of a dangerous thing. I'm sorry. No, it's interesting looking at these popes, looking at these lives, and Pius the 20th or John the 23rd is very much a beloved pope. He's very much one who's remembered for the Second Vatican Council, but he also did much like the Mass of 1962 was his as well. Again, something, didn't think he'd make a lot of waves, and he did. He made a few. So. And Captain Jeff's back, so I've talked more than I need to. No, I'm kidding.
I was looking at the USA Today between flights. This was the Friday edition, yesterday, and there was an article here. So you can tell it's a real
paper. Yeah. They'll still exist.
And I don't know why the airmen of note are all of a sudden playing in the background. I guess they think it's time for the bottom of the hour break, but it's not. Just kind of tune them down a little bit. There we go. So this article here, 2 years in, Francis still unscripted and undeterred, by Eric J. Lyman, special for the USA Today in the religion section. Didn't know that USA Today had a religion section, but it does, apparently, occasionally.
when
And
they need it, I suppose.
there was something in here that I thought was interesting, that the basically some people were thinking that he may be he. You know what? Maybe I found this in maybe it was a different article I was reading, but I was looking at something that said that some people were thinking that he is kind of hinting in some of the things he's saying that um, his reign or his time as pope
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a limited engagement, and that he may do what uh, his predecessor did and step
Mm-hmm.
down before he dies.
Right.
And so, what do you think about that?
I know there's been talk about that pretty much from when he was elected. And to be fair, I mean, Pope Benedict did set the precedent that popes can do this. I mean, I can't say that he set the precedent because it was done before. You know, we had all that conversation about 500 years ago and all that. But he kind of set the precedent that a modern pope could do that, and that could be a normal part of the papacy, is not till life or not till death. Will Pope Francis? I don't know. That's his decision. If he feels that he becomes infirm and can't do it, you know, John Paul II had a completely different opinion on that. He served as pope until the day of his death.
Right. He showed us what, you know, suffering and dignity was all about.
Exactly. So I don't know. Of course, Pope Francis. I like this quote that he could also see himself being assassinated. So a quote from an Argentinian newspaper: "Our life is in God's hands. I say to the Lord, you take care of me. But if it is your will that I should die or that someone should do something to me, I only ask you this, that it won't hurt me, because I'm very much a wimp when it comes to physical pain." I love it.
Weren't there some references to this whole idea that ISIS, you know, has a hit, what do you call it, contract on them or something like that? So.
Yeah, they keep saying they're going to take over Rome, and they mean by that, they do mean by that the Catholic Church. They do mean the Vatican. Rome, Rome itself. The news pundits will probably say, well, it's because of the Roman Empire and that's the scene. No, it's because of they see rightly that Rome, the Vatican, is the center of Christianity, and they want to hit at Christianity.
Right.
You know, they've already got Constantinople, Istanbul. They see it as they want to take over the center of Christianity.
Right.
So I think that's what led the Pope to say what he did, because there is a lot of concern about that. And to be fair, Pope Francis hasn't exactly been, playing by the rules, so to speak, when it comes to security and stuff like that. He more than happy to let people come right up to him. And I'm sure he's throwing his security people into absolute fits because of it, but
I'm sure, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that they're having a hissy fit by the way he disregards security.
Yeah.
There's some talking about quotes from Pope Francis that he continues to kind of baffle especially the secular media. And remember that during a trip to the Philippines in January, he spoke on reproduction. And hopefully this is the actual quote. It's not true that to be a good Catholic you have to be like rabbits. And then the very next month he said opting not to have children at all is a selfish choice. So, and I don't really see any disparity at all between those two quotes, but I think that a lot of the people in the secular world think, well, see, you don't have to be a good Catholic and have to be like rabbits. To them, that means you don't have to have children. No, that means that you don't have to go out there and have 10, 12, 15, 20 children like it's an obligation to do that. His point was that you need to be open to life, but you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh, either I'm dropping off or Captain Jeff just froze. In case I think I'm still here. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, if my if I'm crashing here or if Captain Jeff just did. Just in case, though, one thing to mention is the reason why Pope Francis is in the news is because it's his second anniversary as a pope. And sorry, Jeff, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. I can't see you. You're completely frozen. But it is his second anniversary as papacy was yesterday, Friday the 13th. March 13th was the day he was elected. So it's been an interesting run listening to him. Oh, there you go. Are you there? Can you hear me?
We are experiencing technical Oh wait, are you back?
Yeah, you froze, and I don't know. Could you hear me or?
No. And
Yeah.
then I was like reading the stuff and talking, and I'm thinking I'm not really getting any
See,
feedback at all.
So I don't know who saw what, because all I saw was you freeze, and I kept talking, and now we're back together. So I don't know what happened.
Well, here's the deal: the people on the Hangout may have heard Father Corey, or they may have heard me, but the people that are to the audio podcast are just hearing me.
Yeah,
during that as you were gone.
That's funny. Lynn and Mike both say they could hear me, so I don't know what was going on.
So it must be on my end then.
Yeah, it's Google probably. Yeah, because you had this big kind of this grin on your face and you're frozen. It's like, okay.
Anyway, the last thing I'll say about not the last thing, but likely the last thing I'll say about this this.
Oh, and we're freezing again. Apparently, Google is having issues. Either Google or Captain Jeff is having issues. There we go. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if we're going to need to restart the live stream or what. If it's a problem on Captain Jeff's end, but somebody's having issues here because we keep freezing to each other. He sees me frozen, I see him frozen. So what's going to be the official podcast is what he's doing, not me. Yeah, and he's frozen again. Exactly. I don't know how to. Unfortunately, I don't know how we can fix that. But something's going on today that not happy. Sarah's was having issues with her internet. We're having issues with the Hangout freezing up. And again, something like this, it's hard to say. Is it Captain Jeff's computer that's causing it? Is it Google Hangouts that's causing it? Because we're seeing each other freeze, I'm thinking it's Google Hangout itself that's having the issue. But yeah, I don't know where the disconnect is, because this is not. It's kind of hard to run a show when you can't connect right now. I guess I'll just have to listen. I'll have to listen to the podcast and find out what Captain Jeff said and respond to it next week, I guess. Well, I have the good stuff. Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but server's not happy either. Boy, it's just one of those days, I think. I thought yesterday was Friday the 13th, not today. I thought today was Pie Day. Maybe we just need to all go and go eat some pie instead of trying to do the show. I don't know. Some people couldn't access the live stream. Yeah, I saw that too, where Father Daryl wasn't able to see the live stream again. Jeff dropped altogether. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what to tell you, folks. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if it is on Captain Jeff's end, if I'm being seen on the live stream. Which, sorry folks, is going to be kind of boring, but it must be on his end, something with his computer or something like that. Yeah, he's gone even longer now. This time it was only about a minute or so, and he's still frozen. Let's see here. I'm trying to think if it must be your fault, Lynn, if you're wearing the pie shirt. If it's a Pie Day problem, it must be your fault. No. We hear you, Father, but the video is dropping as we see. Okay, so it must be on Google's end. I don't know what's going on. Get some pie once this is over. I need to find some. I don't have any right now. I don't think I have any in the freezer or anything like that. I need to go find a piece of pie somewhere. This is no, and now he's coming and going. Oh, there I can see you moving again. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I've been just kind of sitting here talking because
I know. I've been listening to you.
Oh, that's funny. Because it sounds like I'm on the live stream and you're not.
Yeah, I think it must be on my end, not yours.
Huh. Yeah, because you'll sit there and you'll be. Last time you were frozen for about 2 minutes, just kind of sitting there. You're looking down at something, and that was it.
Oh well. This is a fail.
Yep. Well, if nothing else, I'll just listen to the podcast to hear what you had to say.
It's not worth it. I don't know what's maybe somebody upstairs is. No, I don't think that Alyssa's the only one that's up, and I don't think she's doing anything on the internet. And we have pretty good internet here. My son, I'm sure, is still sleeping.
Yeah,
I picked him up last night from the airport late.
Oh wow.
And so yeah, I'm positive that he's sleeping, so it's not his bandwidth.
Wow. Now, are you and Sarah both on Time Warner for your internet, or?
I'm on Charter.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what she uses.
Yeah, I thought there's Time Warner down there, but because I know they're notorious for having bad internet, so I didn't know if it was problems with the provider or what. But,
do I dare do a speed test here? Let's see.
Because you're a little grainier than usual. You're a little lower quality than usual, but
okay.
Your sound quality is good. It's just your video is a little lower quality than usual.
Okay. Let me see what happens if I do a speed test here. Probably drop out completely.
Yeah, there you go. Poof, gone.
Good thing, and it says that I'm getting about consistently about 33 megabits per second.
Oh wow, that's double what I get on a good day.
So
you should be fine.
Oh, connection. I don't know. And there's nothing. My machine is not doing anything. I only have a couple of things open.
Yeah.
And
who knows? They probably updated their Hangout software or something, and it's a bug in the new software. I don't know.
Or maybe they're just updating it right now, and they're thinking, well, who in the world would be doing a Google Hangout on air on Saturday morning?
Yep. Who knows? It's Google. I don't think Google knows what they do half the time.
But I can't blame them because it may not have anything to do with them. So who knows?
Yep.
But
exactly.
I was talking about some quotes here. I'm not sure exactly how much of it any of you heard, but the last thing I was going to say in this USA Today article. Are you still hearing me?
Yep. Yeah, I still hear you. I'm still there.
The Big Bang that today is considered to be the origin of the world does not contradict the creative intervention of God. On the contrary, it requires it. And people are thinking, wow, that's so controversial. The Catholic Church would say something like that the Big Bang doesn't contradict the God's creation of the world. I'm thinking, well, I'm pretty sure that the guy that came up with the whole Big Bang theory was a Catholic priest.
Yes, he was. He was a Jesuit, I believe. Yes.
So, if people knew that, they wouldn't think that this was so, such an amazing thing to say.
It's so funny because I think, unfortunately, because kind of the Bible-only sola scriptura Protestant is kind of the considered the default Christian in the United States. The fact that we as Catholics can say, but we don't read the Bible literally. We don't literally believe in 7 24-hour periods of creation. We can believe in things like evolution. We can believe in the Big Bang Theory. There's nothing specifically contrary to the Catholic faith in these theories.
Right.
And it's why it's always controversial. It's like, no, it's not. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Anyway. Well, that's the world we live in, right? Especially here in the United States.
Exactly.
Speaking of, gravity is around us and the world revolves around us. I think a lot of people have faulted Americans for that.
Yeah.
And probably, it's a reasonable thing, I think, sometimes to say. But
well, I'll say this, just in interacting with people from other countries, what little I've been able to do that, I think people say, oh, you Americans, you don't know anything outside of your country. Well, I think that's pretty normal around the world. We just tend to be a lot more vocal about it because we have all the news media, or the major news media.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty normal where you go to someplace, even you go up in Canada, a lot of times they'll know the basics of what's going on here, at least what the news media says is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, they're more concerned about what's going on in Canada with good reason, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. That's human nature. We tend to focus on our desires, our needs, our wants, and not look at others quite as much as we should.
Right. And I guess that's kind of should be a reminder to us that that we are not the only nation in this world, and that there are other things going on around the world that are just as important.
Yep.
So, and of course, there are a lot of things going on around this world that are just horrible, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's hard for us living in this first world or fully or developed country or whatever the politically correct thing to say is now, that to think about the fact that or consider the fact that there are parts of this world where people are really suffering every day and living horrible existences.
That's why it's so important that we, as those of us who do have a lot, to put it frankly, our poorest people are still much more well off than some of the poor people in some very developed nations. That's why we should be giving what we can. I support things like Operation Rice Bowl, Catholic Relief Services Operation Rice Bowl, other charities, other groups that go into these countries, and they do a lot of good.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of good work that we have money, we have things. If you have doubt of that, how are you listening to us right now?
Exactly.
People in places of true poverty, like some places in Africa, some places in Asia, South America, they would kill to even have the money that it cost for the iPod or the computer or cell phone that you're listening to this to. We have things, we have money, and we're in part of the the two great commandments: love God with your whole heart, soul, and being, and love your neighbor as yourself. Well, by that second commandment, we're required to.
Mm-hmm.
It's important we do that.
Yep, we take a lot for granted here living in this great country. Oh, well, I think we're going to make it a short show this time. We're not going to go the full hour because, first of all, it's just Father Corey and I, and secondly, we started a little bit late, and we need to get going because we have an important board meeting of the StarQuest Production Network to have, and so I think that now might be a good time to do this. Not to mention that who knows how much longer this hangout is going to be.
Exactly.
We'll wrap it up before that happens. And
exactly.
So I'm going to let you go first, Father Corey, because I need to just double check what my pick of the week is.
Okay. Well, we were talking earlier. In other words, you need to find one.
Yes.
Well, we were talking earlier about Pope Francis, and yesterday he announced that there will be an extraordinary Jubilee year of mercy. Like popes over the last 20 years or so, they've been doing these special years, these years where we dedicate ourselves. We did a year of St. Paul, a year of faith, all these different years. This year is the year for consecrated life, and the year that Pope Francis named is the year of mercy. It's going to be we don't know a lot of details exactly what that's going to look like, but it's a year dedicated to divine mercy, and it's going to begin on the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception, which is the 8th of December, which is also the patronal feast day of the United States, but it will go until November 20th, which is the solemnity of our Lord Jesus Christ, King of the universe. And so we don't know a lot of details about it. The actual information, the papal bull, the announcement, will be released on Divine Mercy Sunday, which is the 12th of April this year. So it's something to look forward to. Is this feast, or this year of mercy, to find out, a good opportunity for us to take advantage of our Lord's mercy.
Absolutely, the Divine Mercy devotion is an awesome thing, but obviously encompasses much more than just the devotion itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I look forward to learning more about the year of Divine Mercy.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, great. Good pick. My pick, and I actually had thought of this, and I just remembered that I was going to mention it. I've mentioned this before on previous shows, but I think that it's a testament to when you use an app over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. It is something that I think it's important to say to people that obviously, if he's still using it, it must be a useful thing. And it's an app. I'm into apps and technology and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't have to be an app. And so I guess my general pick of the week is, and we talked about this on the last show where we were talking about the things that you didn't know about priests, or what was the things. I think that was it. Wasn't it?
10 things you usually don't know about priests. Yeah.
Right. And we talked about that a priest does not have to perform a mass, not perform, but celebrate a mass every day, but they are obligated to do certain portions of the divine office. And we didn't really talk about it exactly, the mechanics of how you do it, Father Corey, or other. Mm-hmm. I know that the standard, I guess, would be the book, the 4-volume breviary, mm-hmm. The Divine Office. But with our technology today, there are several great ways for priests and laity to pray the office of ours, the Divine Office, and one of which is a free app by, I think, an Italian priest. This is not really, I guess you can throw that in there as a pick, Lynn. And it's just called iBreviary.
Mm-hmm.
I always have trouble pronouncing that. Say the word.
iBreviary.
Breviary. Okay.
Yep.
And it's very well done. And it's, as I said, I'm pretty sure it's free.
Yeah, it is.
On the App Store. I don't know if it's made available for Android and Windows Phone and other.
It is. It's on another number of platforms. I think it's even on BlackBerry, which that's saying a lot.
Okay. Wow. So anyway, that's one way to do it, and it just automatically you pick your language and et cetera, and then you go to the day and you can read whichever hour that you want. Or if you're more into doing something with audio, and I've recommended this app several times again. It's just called Divine Office, and mm-hmm. that is available on the iOS devices, also Mac computers, the Android market, Nokia. I guess maybe that's another operating system, Nokia devices.
It
also
they used to have their own operating system for Nokia. Now all the Nokia devices are Windows devices, but
okay. Well, if you have one of those old devices, I guess you can actually get a version that works on that. And it's also now available on Kindle Fire. I guess that's sort of like an Android.
It's an Android device, yeah.
And so, if you want to listen to and pray the liturgy of the hours on the go, you can go to one of those app stores and purchase the Divine Office app. And, I probably should have queued up I wonder if I push this button, if it gives any information here. I have to run this plugin. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, I said run the plugin, but it's not there anymore. Okay, maybe it is my computer. Well, anyway, it's hard to describe, but they each of the readings, they have the office of readings, the morning prayer, mid-morning prayer, midday prayer. Talked a little bit about it last. Each of these actually, some people from this ministry have recorded the prayers and readings, and they're praying together. So you kind of feel, and you can just pray along with them. And so if you're driving, I do this a lot. If I'm driving to work, whatever, and I turn everything off and I put my earbuds in and I play the Office of Readings. And, it feels like I'm with a group of people, praying the Divine Office.
Yeah.
So I really use this a lot, and it's not cheap. It's on the iOS store. It's $19.99.
Yeah, I think the Android is the same, as I recall when I bought it.
All right, but you don't have to do it that way. If you want to just from your computer, I believe all this is free. Let me see. So here's the Office of Readings for March 14th, and it's loading. Yeah, it's really slow. Maybe the problem is me. Okay, here we go. Let me hit this.
Divine Office. From ancient times, the Church has had the custom of celebrating each day the Liturgy of the Hours. In this way, the Church fulfills the Lord's precept to pray without ceasing, at once offering praise to God the Father and interceding for the salvation of the world. Saturday, Office of Readings.
And then it goes on. And anyway, so you get the idea. Well, here, let me play a little bit more so you can actually get.
Distance. Lord, make haste to help me. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen.
So there you go. You still there?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Good.
We haven't dropped off yet.
Because when I have all these windows open on my machine, I don't, have the Hangout open, and sometimes I'm thinking, I wonder if they're all still there.
Yeah,
so anyway, that's a little snippet of what you will hear on your mobile device. But as I said, you don't have to pay a cent, although they would appreciate your support by giving them a donation. But it's all available right there for free on your computer, and that's divineoffice.org.
And so, I use it once in a while when I'm driving if I haven't prayed the breviary, and it is nice to have. Admittedly, they do pray a little slower than I prefer, but I think, as I recall, it does have the speed up button where you can go, like 1.5 or 2 time speed.
Oh, that's nice to know. I didn't know that, because I kind of feel the same way. Like,
I think that does. I can't recall for sure, but I think it does.
Okay. Good. And you don't have to, if you have it on your iOS or Android device, you don't have to play the audio and download it and listen to it. You can just read it just as the free iBreviary software allows you, or app allows you to do.
Yep.
So anyway, if you're into, praying without ceasing, and pray the office of the prayer of the Church, the Divine Office, check out divineoffice.org, and they have been long friends of the StarQuest production network.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, you hear the music here in the background. That means it is time for us to wrap up this week's show. Don't forget, the Catholic New Media celebration, the Catholic New Media Conference 2015, is set for June 7th here in Atlanta at the Georgia International Convention Center. And we're planning a great time, and we hope that you'll join us. And registration is open. And there's a link there not only to register for the event itself on Sunday, but also for securing your hotel rooms. We were able to get a pretty good rate for that night, the night before, on Saturday, June 6th. And so check that out, both at the Marriott Gateway Hotel and also right next door, the Spring Hill Suites, if you want to share a room with some others and in a suite-style setting. Free breakfast in the morning. And if you want to also join us for the Jubilee dinner the night before on June 6th, there's a way to register for that as well. And we're very excited about it. We hope that you'll be excited about it too, and join us on June 7th, down near the Atlanta International Airport. And again, thank you for your support, financial and prayer support. Father Corey, how can we find out more about you on the digital spectrum?
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those kind of fun things at FR Corey Stica, last name spelled Sticha, or on you can listen to my homilies on my webpage, frcory.org.
All right. We should probably have a snippet of one of those on one of these shows so you can hear what it sounds like when Father Corey is preaching his homily.
I'll make sure to pick the one with the least amount of heresy. No.
Good. Yes, that would be helpful. And as you heard me talk about in my self-promotion of the Airline Pilot Guy show, if you're interested at all in stuff that's happening in the airline world, news in the industry, and or just listen to a lot of the people that listen to the show that have questions about flying transport category airplanes and just general questions about how we bid for our trips and layovers and that kind of thing. You can find all that information about my show at airlinepilotguide.com on iTunes and all that jazz. So anyway, thanks again for joining us this week on Catholic Weekend. Thank you also to the stalwarts in the chat room for hanging in there. We had a lot of technical difficulties on this episode, and we do apologize for that. I'll probably have to edit a lot of that out. Maybe if you're listening to the podcast after the fact, you'll not know all the all the technical problems we had on today's show. But we made it through, and thanks for persevering. And again, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you back here again next week on the next episode of Catholic Weekend. Thank you also, Lynn, for all your help in the show notes and everything else. So anyway, have a great Catholic weekend. Take care. God bless.
SQPN, leading the way in Catholic new media.
Jeez.
All right.
We survived.
Wow. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a tough. It's hard when it's just two. When you have more people, it's easier because then you don't have to be talking the whole darn time.
Yeah. Well, then with the with the gremlins, I didn't know if I was on, you were on. I didn't know if I was the one that was frozen. If I could see my little bar, the little green marks, that it was supposedly transmitting and catching the audio and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing over here. But I had a feeling because I was getting texts from Lynn that that I'm frozen and Father Corey's vamping and all that kind of stuff. And I went, okay. So obviously it's my end, and so. And then it's funny because it'll start it buffers and then it tries to keep speed everything up and compress everything to catch up, and that was kind of funny. At one point it sounded like you were singing. It was going listen, that's Father Corey singing.
Yeah.
Oh boy, let me do this. Let me thank you everybody in the chat room. We got to run. Wish we could hang out for a little bit longer and talk to you and such, but again, thanks for hanging out today and putting up with us. And so we're going to stop the broadcast, and hope everybody has a great week, and we'll hopefully see you back here next week.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.